See, I told y'all we weren't done with the manifest videos, but for real, I really do appreciate all the support on my last video about Euphoria and then the other video about identity. I'm still going to be slowly doing more and more videos about different shows and movies, but we still have a lot of stuff to talk about with manifest. I know, trust me. And if you didn't see my announcement on the community tab, right now I'm still focused on marketing the artist I manage. He dropped a new project, so all of my energy is being put into that right now, but I want to do a quick video for my manifest fans out there before I dive into season 4 theories in probably a couple weeks, hopefully. So I wanted to find a way to say thanks to all my subscribers who came here from the manifest videos and try and figure out this show with the people who are just like me, which, you know, is you guys. So I've compiled all the comments from you guys where either gave me your own theory or you said something about the show that made me think about it differently. And I'd love to do another video like this, so of course leave your theories about what happened to Flight 828 in the comments below, but I'm just going to read off the ones that you guys commented, and I'm recording this on February 20th, so if you do that after, I'm sorry, but again, I want to do a part 2. But yeah, I'm just going to talk about them, so make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification button for future videos, and let's dive in again to what happened to Flight 828, my subscriber edition. Alright, I'm going to try to read these off, but again, guys, I stutter a lot. I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on it. But again, I'm not going to try to pronounce your guys' names either. I do not want to butcher them, but let's just get into it. Here's the first one. So this person says, I think Cal disappeared when he touched the tail fin because he merged the parallel universe that was formed with the real one in which they died, and so he basically committed suicide. Alternatively, when Ben tried touching the tail fin, it threw him backwards, meaning you cannot merge the two timelines back unless it's in a form of self-sacrifice for the greater good. And that's how you beat the death date, by annihilating the alternate universe that was created. Both Zeke and Cal had a glowing light moment when they sacrificed themselves. My bet is that Cal won't have any more callings in the 4th season. He'll become an empath or something similar like Zeke. And Zeke probably came back older too, but it's not as obvious. And honestly, I remember when I was going through these, I think this was probably one of my favorite ones because scientifically, I've heard a lot of different stuff in different TV shows about parallel universes and time travel. I know I've referenced Futurama multiple times, but there's always this talk about when new universes are created, like the person, like your other duplicate in that universe or the universe itself has to be destroyed. And in this way, it makes sense because the only person we saw survive the death date was fucking Zeke, and he did it through self-sacrifice. And even though Cal didn't die, he just like got older. He was going to die, so I really like this theory. I mean, I don't really think there's much I need to explain on my end. I think this person said it way better than I could have, honestly. Shout out to you. Thank you for leaving this comment. Alright, so the next person said, what if for the duration of the turbulence they were in a time dilation? I think that's how you say it, yeah. Where the time inside the turbulence area ran slower while outside world had already spent 5.5 years for that matter. And I'm not a science guy personally. I'm interested in this stuff. The first thing that comes to mind when I read this is Interstellar. Like when they were on different planets, like time was moving 1 second was like a day or some shit like that. So that could work in parallel universes or time travel and stuff, but I'm not a science guy, so I'm just going to go with maybe on this one. All right, next, this one is from Ashley Ann. I remember I really liked this one. I tried to not read up on them too much. I just thought like, oh, these are definitely going to be good, so let me just save them for the video. So these are kind of my first reactions as well. So they said, I feel like it's the most plausible theory. I think she's referring to maybe mine from the video. Like, I see the glowing light as a rift between universes. So when Cal sees the glow, he is literally seeing another universe. So when he chooses to go to another universe where the plane crashed 5 years ago, he is the most powerful or connected because he caused a timeline change. And I think the callings are given by older Cal, making sure he doesn't destroy the timeline because two timelines cannot be in the same universe. Wow, I really like this one. They continue, that's why Ben flew when he touched the tail fin because they were both from different realities. I could go on. I think when Cal disappears, he goes back to the timeline A where the plane survives and he survives the flight, but he still remembers himself in timeline B. So he uses the rift because he's connected, I don't even know how to say that word, to commute with young Cal in timeline B, making sure that all the stuff is supposed to happen happens. He also has to make sure that the burnt plane initially from timeline A gets back to its original timeline, so Cal makes it disappear in the final episode. But yeah, Ashley, this is probably, this is way better than what I could say. I'm kind of jealous right now. She kind of looked at it in a better way than I did. And this is very similar to what the first person said too. So I think the main things to take away from this are, like, again, what I'm talking about, you can't have these two realities existing in the same timeline. So they keep talking about when Ben touched it, he was shot back, but when Cal touched it, he was transferred to another universe. It's because, man, I'm telling you, Cal from the beginning, there's something off with him. He probably can see through another universe. Like, he is seeing another universe whenever he looks at that light. And that also reminds me of when Ben saved Olive in the fire and he was looking at a light, and then Alzuris had drawn that same picture in his book. That was Alzuris looking through the light and seeing Ben in a different timeline. So there's a whole other thing. Is Ben Alzuris? Are they like connected somehow? Like, familial wise or something, I don't know. But man, this person, they just killed it. I think it's just better if I just read their theory. Yeah, I'm just reading their theory and leaving it there. Let's go to the next one. Thank you so much for commenting that, because again, that was better than what I could have said. So this person was responding to someone. They said, for me, I think when someone died is related to, then someone is surviving from. Just like Zeke and Major, then Grace and Cal. Cal disappear. When Grace died, Cal reappear. Maybe Cal died once again and resurrected again, and then he wake up and he's adult already. I read that word for word. I'm gonna just go on to the next one. I like it, but yeah. This is one that I've seen a lot online and a lot in my comments. Maybe Cal had to sacrifice his mom for all the passengers. I think he definitely had to do it for himself to survive the death date, but I don't see how Grace sacrificing her would like fix everybody's death date. Maybe that has to tie into the realities, and like something had to happen to make sure what's supposed to happens, and then everybody will be fine. So that is a good point. I mean, I see a lot of people bringing it up, but I feel like it relates only to Cal and maybe the Stone family, but I could see it working for everybody else too. Next, we got this question. I don't know why I took note of it, but I did for some reason. So in short, the airplane is a blessed by God time machine that recreates clone lives and leaves traces to figure out the work of it. I guess, yeah, something like that. Next, we got the passenger asked, do you have anything without sodium? This sentence is the most important in the series. She ties in fantastically at the end. And if you don't know what this person is talking about, they're talking about Kelly, the passenger, in the very, very, very like first 10 minutes of the episode when they're on the plane and she's complaining about the drink, and that's the lady that ends up getting shot. Again, I probably should have said spoiler warning at the beginning of this, but you guys should expect that from now. But she gets shot, and then they find her body later at Eureka. You know, they have her in that glass case. But if I'm not mistaken, the sodium relates to the traces of sodium that they found in her body. Like at first it wasn't there, but then they said that they found these certain elements that it later turned into be this fucking sapphire and all that other shit we talked about in the last video. You know, there was like sodium and a couple of the elements that were on her, and then Jace and his brother and that other guy's body. I'm probably not making too much sense. You should just go Google this, but this person is right. That is one of the most important things in this series, because if you finish season 3 and you watch that first 10 minutes and you see her say that and you know what happens to her, you're like, oh shit, they were leaving traces of it the whole time. And they didn't do that a lot, but they did that definitely a couple times, and I really like when shows do that. Now I was trying to get all types of like conspiracy theories and theories in general about the show, because a lot of people take different angles, but a lot of angles are repeated and they're just in different ways. And this person did the numbers thing. You know, people are always looking at the numbers. 828 passengers were missing for 291 weeks. Ben, Cal, and Michaela were supposed to be on flight number 537. Simple math. 828 minus 537 equals 291. I am surprised numbers guy Ben Stone hasn't told us about that yet. I'm not really big into people saying like, oh, this person died on this date and these numbers together equal this. But Ben Stone is a numbers guy, and he hasn't brought up any of that yet. And they really take every angle on the show, and they haven't taken like the tinfoil hat crazy conspiracy route. So maybe season 4, we don't know. Alright, this last one is a hefty one, but it is a very good one. This person said, wow, I'm late to the party, just started watching the show last week and finished it today. Man, it's okay. You can come to the party whenever, we'll always be here. My thought, it's hard to make it purely scientific, but here's my guess. I thought the callings could be their own thoughts, but in a different time or space sent to them through some rip in space-time. Seeing the parallel universe theory in that video, I think there could be another version of the passengers in the future who know how the events in this timeline should go, and the passengers in this timeline have to match it, or they will cause timeline inconsistency and they die. The future passengers send messages to themselves in this time which appear as the callings to try and nudge them to the right path. If one of them fail, they all die because they're all part of the same timeline. What the theory can't explain, though, how they seem to be judged based on moral standard. It strongly suggests that there is some intelligence behind it and not a natural phenomenon. All the callings, even to the bad guy from the river, seem to tell them to do good things. That guy didn't do it and he died. Also, if the theory is true, I don't expect the failed ones to die where they are like that. I expect them to get teleported and reappear at the place they disappeared and died because the timeline collapsed to the original and the event just take its course. And man, the Oscar, the Grammy, the Golden Globe, any trophy you can think of goes to this person. Thank you so much for this comment, because I think that summarizes a lot of what other people said, a lot of my own thoughts that I couldn't really communicate in the way I wanted to. It summarized all of those perfectly. I don't know if I've said this before, but just in life, I like to always have like changing opinions. You know, I'm never like pigeonholed to one thought or idea. I always want to be able to expand my ideas, and if something comes to me and it proves something I thought wrong, then I'm not going to be stupid and just be like, no, I'm biased, I just want to listen to this. But that goes with everything, but it also boils down to simple things like theories of TV shows like Manifest. And I still feel pretty much the same way. I watch my videos every now and then just to check up and see if I've changed my thoughts and how I feel about shows and different shit in the past, but I still feel pretty much the same way about Manifest. But I think I've now added on to my theories because of you guys, and this is literally the whole point I was trying to make, because what you guys just did for me could do for someone else, and now we all know the truth. I mean, ultimately that's the end goal. But yeah, I think that there's some merit to that. I like how the person brought up the plot holes, and I'm going to talk about them after this. But when the two timelines were created, I think it's very plausible, and honestly I'm starting to believe it, that the future, the 5.5 years, like the cow that we saw, are trying to communicate to all the passengers, and that's what we see with the callings. And the main thing you're probably thinking of that proves that point is they hear it in their own voice. It's them saying it, and even if they're a couple years older, 5 years besides Cal, that wouldn't really matter to anybody else. But again, like I said, I'm not a science guy, I don't know a lot of stuff, but I do know when it comes to parallel universes and time travel and stuff, there are rules that you have to follow. And one consistent one that we've seen with this show and a lot of other things, and a lot of the people in the comments have been talking about, is you have to follow these rules, and these timelines can't overlap. Or whenever there's plot holes in real life, like in time and space and shit, that leads to tragedy, that leads to probably wormholes or some crazy shit that we don't know of. TV shows, you know, portray it in the form of, oh, a death date, oh, callings, all this other stuff. But in the real world, if something were to happen where parallel universes overlapped or another timeline was created and there were all these things where people could talk to their past and future selves, if things didn't go in order and they didn't do the things to make sure what was supposed to happen, like this person said, was supposed to happen, then tragedy will strike. I mean, that's just, I don't know if that's 100% true, but I would put a lot of money that that's 100% true. So again, I wanted to talk a little bit just to kind of expand on my own thoughts. And again, I just have new theories now about this show because of you guys, but I really just wanted to leave it to you guys and just show everybody, because I have, even though it's not a huge platform, it's a little bit, but I can at least express and show your guys' amazing ideas to everybody else who watches these, and that was another main goal of this video. So I know I said I couldn't find a way to thank you guys, but maybe that's it. You know, I'm just showing everybody else. That's why I asked you guys in the comments if it was okay if I used these, because I just want to show everybody else, these amazing people in my comments that subscribe to me. They have amazing theories too. I'm not the one who's like knows the most about Manifest. I'm just the guy who made a video about it. I know this was a shorter video, but again, we can do more of these in the future if you comment your theories below. But again, I just want to say thank you to all the people who've supported so far. I mean, the most views I got on my first YouTube channel on just one video was about like 10K. Season 1 alone of Manifest, my review recap of it, has 50K. I mean, I honestly never expected it to blow up like this, and you guys have been so supportive and just so kind in the comments. And I know for now there's not much I could do besides give you the videos you want, so again, please leave comments below about the show, your theories about it, just your thoughts about it. I just want to talk about it with you guys because it's kind of a similar show to Lost, where back in the day people got together to talk about the show. Now we can just do it on the internet, and I really like you guys and you guys seem to like my content. So again, let's just please figure out what the fuck is up with Manifest overall, and then especially Flight 828. But more videos coming soon. Next one will most likely be about a movie, and then after that, season 4 theory is going to be coming, I'm telling you, in a couple weeks, I promise. And I'm going to sound like a broken record again, but if you want to leave comments about your theories of season 4, what do you want me to talk about, what do you want me to look up, what do you want me to just overall bring up about season 4, and the more you guys do that, the quicker that video will come. So like I said, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notification buttons because new videos are coming soon. Thank you guys for being patient. Thanks for all the support, and I just need to stop talking. I'll see y'all next time.